Hello, 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 everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate all you guys and your views and stopping in and spending your time with me. So, I got in the Daily Dharma today a little bit more of the romance vibes, and it keeps coming through in the readings, but with somewhat of a mixed bag of is this the right type of attraction that you're looking for or not? So, we've gotten a few cards recently about be open and receptive to love, and we got the kiss card recently, but it kept coming through like the Dementor kiss. And then I was like, well, if we're meant to do a love reading, how should I do this? I was going to do a few piles at first, but I think I'm just going to go with it, see what comes out. You can take what resonates, leave the rest. The handwritten cards, the ones that popped out are seduction tactics, came out with second chakra, sacral chakra in reverse. So somebody who's either emotionally unavailable or emotionally exploitative or something like that, objectification or neediness, something like that, potentially. Coming to see you and Pluto. So there's something very transformative where it almost seems like somebody is trying to make some kind of powerful romantic gesture to seduce you or to get you interested in them, but for whatever reason I'm sensing that the sacral chakra thing for you is making it kind of either like you're getting the ick off of something that somebody's doing, like they're just not where you're at. I think that you're somebody who comes out with more of a mature and grounded emotional energy, and you're looking for somebody to be extremely emotionally intelligent to be able to make the cut and get into your good graces, let alone anything else like your bed. So we've got the Four of Wands energy coming out, however, which shows a couple embracing on the side of this castle in the clouds on the mountain cliff with their dragon guardian there. So if this is something that has already been going on with you and you had a relationship and it's gone through some rough patches here, somebody does want to come back and make up with you, but it does look like they're still having the same type of emotional turmoil or instability that they had to begin with, but they're still hoping to talk to you and get you back into into bed at the very least, it seems. If this is romantic reading for you, you might read this and apply it to a different situation. We have the Empress coming out. So this is showing yourself in this high vibe, accomplished energy, secure. And then we have the Three of Swords flipping in the deck. And in this deck, you can see how much controversy there is. And it's shaped like the anatomical heart, I always think. And it talks to me about how there's been a lot of fires and storms. So this very much could be somebody that you've had some misgivings about, or some red flags at the very least here. Ooh, but then we get the Emperor. Very interesting indeed. So for some of you, this could be a life partner or somebody that you're meant to connect with. This definitely could be a power couple, to say the least. But with Three of Swords, there's some kind of heartbreak energy that's coming in. Yeah, we got a few more coming out. But with the Four of Wands, it's like there's some kind of happy home life and stability and commitment to that coming in. So while we were shuffling, 15 Chains comes out. So there's a difference here between the happy family, happy home life that somebody envisions here and wants to convey as like, come on, baby, this is what we've got together. But then there's this chains here where I don't know if somebody's just not emotionally available with the sacral chakra there. Maybe they have different viewpoints of connecting than you do. Yeah, it's like the two of you are at some type of a stalemate here. And the dragon wants to say that those karmic bonds that bind you or felt like they bound you have already been severed. So there's some kind of old cycle coming to a close, whether this is like you being afraid that you're too different from another individual and it's just going to be another heartbreak, and so you're not wanting to give into this seduction tactics, especially because we get this King of Wands energy, which it's not the Knight of Wands, I'll give you that. The King is master of his passions and his sensual identity in that way. And he's very fiery and charismatic and sexy. And so he's very very seductive, very alluring in the situation. And he sits back knowing that he has a lot to offer as well. So, okay, now we're getting a few more cards here. We've now got the Knight of Pentacles, and we have the Knight of Swords. Two different energies. So I don't know if you are being pursued by a few different individuals here, or if this is representing yourself and the other individual. It does sort of look like this Swords personality is the feminine in the situation. Doesn't have to be, but it looks like this King of Pentacles is coming in like, hey, look at all this good stuff that I've got. Look at all my resources and my reputation and my money and my car. And the Swords is like, you know, not really, that's not what they're looking for. They're coming back with some type of combativeness. So I don't know if somebody here is, you know, secure financially, but not emotionally available. And so the other individual is responding from perhaps a place of emotional wounding. Like, if you're not here for a long time, then you're not going to be here for a good time either. You know, setting some type of a limitation. But the Knight of Pentacles is an enduring energy too. So it doesn't look like this individual's rushing in to make this advance and then disappearing. The Knight of Swords kind of shows up the more fickle and changeable energy in this reading here. So yeah, while somebody is steadfast, the other person is very in their mental energies. They could be dealing with a lot of different situations at once, trying to navigate and to deal with a bunch behind the scenes. And so it might be making them a little bit short, a little bit less available for things if it doesn't seem to be what they're looking for. It's like, yeah, I don't have time for this. Come back when you've grown up a little bit type of a thing. But it doesn't look like they're immature. It looks like there's just a difference in the emotional expectations for the engagement. Or maybe it's just too soon for somebody to have caught the type of feelings that the other individual is looking for. So maybe there's a need to relax your defensiveness, still have it on guard, but to ask a little bit more about the situation instead of drawing conclusions based on a past situation that isn't relevant to this current situation here, because somebody wants to get to know you and come to see you, and it kind of looks like you're not really in the place, and you may be busy growing your own pentacles here, whether you're engaged in your work or your family life or your own personal success, your own glow up energy, working towards something that you want to be your legacy and something that you're known for. You're very engaged with that. You're working really hard at getting yourself together. Yeah, but you have all these jewels. You can afford to take a rest, is what Spirit wants to say about the situation. You're looking good. You've got things going. Do what you have to do in that day, but trust that things are going to continue to develop in the background. You don't need to micromanage your bag all the time. You'll be more effective if you take time to appreciate how far you've come. 10 of Cups is also coming out. So it looks like there's some type of happy family life here being shown again. Now, let's say that for some of you, that's not what you're necessarily manifesting, but symbolically, this is you wanting to be in a position where things are taken care of. There's not a real need to worry. There's friendship, family, connection, community, sharing, abundance. There's nourishment and relaxation and peace. Peace and harmony in the home is incredibly important to you. And so maybe that's why you are defensive, because you're guarding your peace and what you've been able to accomplish and create for yourself. Yet you're not going to just let just anybody in to your home, because you've already tried that. So yeah, there's some type of, what is this chains card supposed to be representing? Some type of fear or resistance of codependency in the home. So maybe you are somebody, especially with these cards here that I'm seeing, that is really, it's really important to you to feel independent and sovereign and beholden to none. But it seems like this Empress energy says that no matter which side of that coin you're falling on, it looks like both individuals have an incredible amount to contribute to the situation and to each other. And it looks like there is a lot of potential here. So yeah, let's take a look at these chains here. Why the chains? Why the chains here for the viewer? So need to heal from previous situations. Okay. The three cards that popped out, we have the Six of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and I want to talk about those two together first. So the Six of Pentacles and the Four of Swords here, you can see how that masculine looks like a beggar energy, and the feminine is like childlike and holding on to her dragon. The Four of Swords card here, if you can see it, the young individual, possibly the feminine, is holding on to this dragon. In the depiction, I always thought as a young person that this was like them just cuddling and had been on a tiring long journey and were laying down. But in the book, it talks about this dragon is actually mortally wounded, and there's some type of grief process going on. So no matter what type of change or grief process that you've encountered in the last possibly 4 to 6 months or 4 to 6 years here, could be significant, especially like, yeah, you don't want anyone that is emotionally bankrupt coming around and trying to get in on what you've got, because that's not it. But then it appears that this individual isn't necessarily, it's like that whole thing coming up right now with how does it go? Something about like, if there's a beggar on the street and you show them kindness, and oh, lo and behold, it turns out that this is an angel in disguise, and now you've been shown to have a heart type of a thing, versus the individuals who the beggar comes to their door again and again seeking shelter, and they're rich, and the rich person keeps turning them away and turning them away. Isn't that the Beauty and the Beast card or story where then the masculine is turned into the beast? Interesting. I don't know why that's coming up, but if it has any any relatability to your story, take it how it fits. So then the third card that came out with those two is Page of Pentacles. And to me, it appears that she's going through some type of photo album, but it could definitely be a very large book of some other variety, some type of big, large, sacred text. There's a lot of energies surrounding you from the other side of the veil, waiting and watching, protecting you in the darkness and getting you through this difficult time. And they're really wanting you to relax your energies and to take this time of rest and replenishment. Maybe if you've got pets, just sitting with them and relaxing, because the Four of Swords wants you to fully release any defensiveness or fear or grief that's been playing out in your energy, so that you can be ready to share all of the abundance that you are with another individual who's ready to share your abundance in turn. And so to not be too judgmental on the upfront, because you could be turning your nose up at an opportunity that's amazing. I'm also getting real quick too that some of you need to be very aware of your own allure and value in a different way, because maybe there are opportunities that you would deny because maybe you think that, oh well, if this great looking individual would approach me or immediately be drawn to me, then maybe they're codependent, or maybe they want something else, or maybe they just think that I'm pretty, but they're not into what I'm into. There's some type of a deflective and defensive inner self speak that is needing to be tempered and alchemized within you, because look at all of that. It's not the vibrant colors of the rainbow. This is the swirling pastels that happens in the behind the scenes. And I'm feeling some kind of very softening energy, a softening happening because of allowing yourself to take a break and let your manifestations not own you, and not letting your grief close you up, and not letting your past relationships that didn't go as expected make you close your heart or be defensive in the face of true love, because it wants to come up. At the very end of the previous reading, I got pucker up buttercup under the other deck here, and I'm seeing that again. You've got a lot of opportunities coming in. Exactly, especially with those nights that are coming in. There's a lot of movement and momentum, a lot of rainbow energy coming in here. And I feel like you are both your own inner empress and emperor here. And so your extreme sovereignty and power needs to sort of be tempered with this softening energy, so that you can be open and available and receptive to everything you're magnetizing right now. You'll have the discernment to see this thing through. And again, you've got that dragon energy behind you, willing you and encouraging you to choose the right cup for what you're ready for. And the moon card, one of my favorite moon depictions, shows this dragon under the full moon dancing on these karmic roots. And so it might not even be your baggage that's making you defensive. It might be something that was more related to your childhood, or even your parents or grandparents, or some other powerful figure or influence in your life that had their own insights and wisdom, pearls of wisdom that they socialized and programmed you with. And it may have led you to think, oh, well, all men are this way and all women are that way. And if I want to get the love of my life, then I have to be this way or that way, or have this evidence of my success or whatever. But, you know, they're coming in on a couple different levels here. We've got this richness here that you've already cultivated, so you're well worth it. and the individual coming in might be worth it as well, but maybe there's some level of your inner judgment of self that's also accidentally denying individuals for their rough edges when they approach you, like, oh, well, I don't want this because of this, but actually those are some of the things that you would actually enjoy. I just saw 2020 on the timer when I looked up. Two of Wands comes out, and it's like you're juggling and asking yourself, what's the right decision? Should I stay or should I go? I would say the cat's like, really? You already know what you should do, would do, could do with these choices. It's like you've got a couple front runners for your attention, but you're making a little bit too much work out of it. There's something to be said about the energy of what really calls to us and our attraction patterns, and having the strength and courage to say yes to certain experiences. Because here we have this strength card walking through courageously under the dark night and knowing confidence that they're going in the right direction. But then we also have, coming out with that, three other cards. We've got the 10 of Swords. There's fireworks going on in the distance. This ending with the 4 of Swords that you were relaxing from, this oppression or victimized feeling of not having enough for the next leg of the journey. It's like somewhat, it suggests with all those swords that it's our mindset that is keeping us separate from our manifestation in this way. And we have the King of Swords here taking this real deep dive into their passions, what lights them up, what makes them aggravated, what makes them feel sensitive, defensive, or feeling like they need to protect or withdraw from a situation. What's getting you tied up in knots? There's some type of mental dialogue that you're mastering here from the inside. And it comes out, the final card there in that stack was the Tower. And it's breaking down some type of defensiveness, because as you see, in most Tower cards, it's being completely annihilated, and it pushes out the individuals that are in these ivory towers. So between yourself and another individual, this Emperor Empress power couple dynamic that is somewhat at odds, it seems that you're being cast out of the illusion of some type of, oh, well, everything's fine and we can just continue in this way. And there's some type of feelings being revealed. Under the deck, we have 10 of Wands and 2 of Pentacles. More of that decision making. Yes. Interesting. And 3 more cards popping out. We've got the Magician. You're really conjuring something and putting the feelings and the ghost of the past into their proper perspective, and you're doing what you can to move in a healthy direction here. It's again with that book. And I feel like there's suddenly, with this Tower and the Magician, some type of a breakthrough awareness, having some type of a message downloaded, or somehow picking something up that's like you finally are able to understand something about why something went a certain way, and the blessing that was happening at the same time as the challenge was underway. And there's a healing here, and you're ready to go back to the castle. Okay, right. So here we have this castle energy, right? It's giving that prodigal son story. Is that a Bible story where the child has to go out and make their own way, but ultimately they're going to potentially return to this? I feel like it's a way of being, this return to love, return to your heart. It's like you've been in a wounded state for various reasons. You've had to let something be torn down, and you've been rebuilding. And now we have this third Knight, the Knight of Pentacles. That's you in your rebuilding phase. So something came crashing down, something that you may have thought was unshakable, and and you're needing to rebuild that from there. So what else wants to come out? I think it's not only about being right. There may be some type of breakdown of communication. Sometimes the good is hidden. Yeah, that's what's needing to be torn down in the tower here. What would love do? Be true to yourself. If you want to reach out to somebody, maybe you just need to have another conversation. Things are about to get really juicy. You might not know now, but you will. Somebody wants to work something out with you. I feel like there was closeness, there was a spark, there was compatibility and attraction. There were all of the elements, but there was something lost in translation. You were on different pages in the same book. Give yourself much more credit. Exactly. We were talking about that earlier too. And it says, a stranger than strange, preponderance to ponder. Those in great relationships aren't always those who are good at relationships. And those in challenging relationships aren't always those who are bad at relationships. You're doing different things perhaps and working out things on different levels. And not everybody needs the same thing, right? And it says, oh, see, wow, even though I use preponderance ineptly, this one is really good. Please ponder the universe. And we did see quite a bit of this pondering energy. We've seen it in the Four of Swords. We see it in the Page of Pentacles over there, the King of Swords. There's a lot of this retreat energy to reevaluate your beliefs and values, and maybe you and somebody else are reaching the point where you can become on the same page. And maybe you were just, one of you or each of you, selling yourselves short in some type of a way, or remaining attached with that chains card. Like for some of you, this may be somebody who is emotionally unavailable because they weren't willing to let go of something very comfortable and secure in order to pursue what you two had together. But it looks like something has really been contemplated. You've been at a distance from each other, and they're recognizing that you two have something together that isn't an everyday occurrence. And so you're getting over something and coming back together is what I'm feeling. Change is always good. And so somebody's looking at changing their own self and being more flexible and more curious and seeing if there's some type of a workaround or way that both people can be satisfied and come together. You have many more options than you realize, even within each individual situation that presents, or, you know, you've got many more suitors that are ready and willing and raring to go with all this night energy. You are moving along very swiftly your own self, and energies are coming in to meet you where you're at. So it's a time of opportunity at every turn. And so you only need to place yourself in the mindset of, what would I like? What would I prefer? And what am I ready to say yes to? And it's coming in for you. So for as long as you wish to keep them in your life, whoever they may be, understanding them as opposed to changing them will wildly improve the chances that they'll wish to keep you in their life. On the other hand, you're pretty much stuck with me. Oh, wow, how I love you, the universe. Do something new, something different. It may be time to reach out, and there's some level of unconditionally loving and accepting of where somebody's at. Or like, say there's a deep attraction, but this person isn't where you need them to be, then still keeping each other in your perimeter circle instead of like right in the home. might be the type of workaround until such time as things can come together. You're destined for greatness on the wings of love. Earlier disappointments were only rehearsal for the great stuff coming your way. So I think that that is beautiful for you. And to finish up our reading, let's catch a couple of oracle cards here. Push to the surface. That one just came out yesterday. It's important to get out, to be seen. Don't be complacent or let yourself remain stagnant or stuck in these old energies of fear or retreat. It's time to get back out. Become aware of the dynamics and what's been shaping your decision making and your motives coming through, because you're about to really have this surge of new, unexpected energy. And in response, the universe is sending you all these opportunities to heal and to be seen and to see other individuals. And it's only a matter of time before things start to really come together. Diving to new depths, exactly, we talked about that. Back on task. Facing your fears, incredible. Look for ways to strengthen your connection to the universe and others. Stay peaceful and calm in the knowing of who you are. It's coming back. Back on task. You've had your time of rest and renewal and grieving, and you're ready to use your time in the best manner possible. You might consider reviewing your goals or your needs in a situation based on your changing circumstances and your evolving self. Maybe your needs have changed. Scheduling a project that you're working on could use some fine tuning. Exactly. So scheduling some time to meet up and to have this transformative discussion might be exactly the thing. And to dive to new emotional, intimate depths with this other counterpart energy, this power couple potential. There's a deeper meaning to what's happening right now. So don't just dismiss it. You might be looking at this just from the surface and missing what's really going on, either within you or the circumstance or the other. So take a moment to pause and breathe and look deeper. Allow yourself to dive deeper into what it is you're feeling about your current situation, because these unresolved feelings kind of point to the fact that you might want somebody and you're not allowing yourself to receive the love that you're wanting to embody. So what else? Expectation, kind of staying in your house and waiting for somebody to show up. Ooh, work and occupation, good lady with a lot of big hope and big water. So let your hopes lead the way and not your fears. Face them and move through it. Court person, there's some type of justice that's working out for you. Ooh, after some sad news. And there's a main person on your mind who's coming in at this time, looking good, smelling good. Yeah, and it's going to lead to some great